is our group.
As I said, chapters 18 and 19 are the passion, the arrest, the passion, and the death of Jesus. And I wonder, I know it's very short, just 2 chapters, but I wonder if that's what we want tonight. But we'll see. We'll see how we feel. That's what I said in the little note I wrote to you guys.
I think tonight these two, and then next Wednesday
We'll finish it up.
Chapters. Yeah, no, I think.
Yeah, next Wednesday are the Easter chapters.
Yeah.
Is what the resurrection and how everybody's astounded. It's the Lord. It's the Lord. It's like when Jesus is like cooking fish on the shore,
right,
and then Peter jumps off the boat. Okay. Well, let's go. I mean, right. Who would like to read chapter 18? We got nice. Hey, Lori, you haven't read in a long time. How do you feel about it?
I'll do it.
You're okay. You're not muted anymore.
Nope.
Okay.
Like it or not, here I come.
Mute.
The Betrayal and Arrest of Jesus is the title in my Bible. After Jesus, do we remember the words he spoke? Should I read those over first? From the chapter before.
It's always nice to have a running start.
Yeah. At the end of chapter
17.
17 is about Jesus praying for his disciples.
Right.
And it's, goes on like he does. It goes on for a while. But so the very last paragraph is, Father, I desire that those also whom you have given me may be with me where I am, to see my glory, which you have given me because you loved me before the foundation of the world. Righteous Father, the world does not know you, but I know you, and these know that you have sent me. I made your name known to them, and I will make it known, so that the love with which you have loved me may be in them, and I in them. And now we begin chapter 18. After Jesus had spoken these words, he went out with his disciples across the Kidron Valley to a place where there was a garden, which he and his disciples entered. Now Judas, who betrayed him, also knew the place, because Jesus often met there with his disciples. So Judas brought a detachment of soldiers, together with police from the chief priests and the Pharisees, and they came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Then Jesus, knowing all that was to happen to him, came forward and asked them, "Whom are you looking for?" And they answered, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus replied, "I am he." Judas, who betrayed him, was standing with them. When Jesus said to them, "I am he," they stepped back and fell to the ground. Again he asked them, "Who are you looking for?" And they said, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus answered, "I told you that I am he. So if you are looking for me, let these men go." This was to fulfill the word that he had spoken. I did not lose a single one of those whom you gave me. Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it, struck the high priest's slave, and cut off his right ear. The slave's name was Malchus. Jesus said to Peter, "Put your sword back into its sheath. Am I not to drink the cup that the Father has given me?" So the soldiers, their officers, and the Jewish police arrested Jesus and bound him. First, they took him to Annas, who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest that year. Caiaphas was the one who had advised the Jews that it was better to have one person die for the people. Simon Peter and another disciple followed Jesus. Since that disciple was known to the high priest, he went with Jesus into the courtyard of the high priest. But Peter was standing outside the gate. So the other disciple, who was known to the high priest, went out, spoke to the woman who guarded the gate, and brought Peter in. The woman said to Peter, "You are not also one of this man's disciples, are you?" He said, "I am not." Now the slaves and the police had made a charcoal fire because it was cold, and they were standing around it and warming themselves. Peter also was standing with them and warming himself. Then the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his teaching. Jesus answered, "I have spoken openly to the world. I have always taught in synagogues and in the temple, where all the Jews come together. I have said nothing in secret. Why do you ask me? Ask those who heard what I said to them. They know what I said." When he had said this, one of the police standing nearby struck Jesus in the face, saying, "Is that how you answer the high priest?" Jesus answered, "If I have spoken wrongly, testify to the wrong. But if I have spoken rightly, why do you strike me?" Then Annas sent him bound to Caiaphas the high priest. Now Simon Peter was standing and warming himself. They asked him, "You are not also one of the disciples, are you?" He denied it and said, "I am not." One of the slaves of the high priest, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, asked, "Did I not see you in the garden with him?" Again Peter denied it, and at that moment the cock crowed. Then they took Jesus from Caiaphas to Pilate's headquarters. It was early in the morning. They themselves did not enter the headquarters so as to avoid ritual defilement and to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate went out to them and said, What accusation do you bring against this man?" They answered, "If this man were not a criminal, we would not have handed him over to you." Pilate said to them, "Take him yourself and judge him according to your law." The Jews replied, "We are not permitted to put anyone to death." This was to fulfill what Jesus had said when he indicated the kind of death he was to die. Then Pilate again summoned Jesus and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And Jesus answered, "Do you ask this on your own, or did others tell you about me?" Pilate replied, "I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests have handed you over to me. What have you done?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not from this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here." Pilate asked him, "So you are not a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." Pilate asked him, "What is truth?" After he said this, he went out to the Jews again and told them, "I find no case against him, but you have a custom that I release someone for you at the Passover. Do you want me to release for you the King of the Jews?" They shouted in reply, "Not this man, but Barabbas." Now Barabbas was a bandit.
Who would like to read 19? Deb, you're a good reader. What do you say? Anybody else? I mean, sharesies, you know? Huh? Go ahead,
I
Beth.
can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged. The soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head. They clothed him in a purple robe and went up to him again and again, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they slapped him in the face. Once more Pilate came out and said to the Jews gathered there, "Look, I am bringing him out to you to let you know that I find no basis for a charge against him." When Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, Pilate said to them, "Here is the man." As soon as the chief priests and their officials saw him, they shouted, "Crucify! Crucify!" But Pilate answered, "You take him and crucify him. As for me, I find no basis for a charge against him." The Jewish leaders insisted, "We have a law, and according to that law, he must die, because he claimed to be the Son of God." When Pilate heard this, he was even more afraid, and he went back inside the palace. "Where do you come from?" he asked Jesus. But Jesus gave him no answer. "Do you refuse to speak to me?" Pilate said. "Don't you realize I have power either to free you or to crucify you?" Jesus answered, "You would have no power over me if it were not given to you from above. Therefore, the one who handed me over to you is guilty of a greater sin." From then on, Pilate tried to set Jesus free, but the Jewish leaders kept shouting, "If you let this man go, you are no friend of Caesar. Anyone who claims to be a king opposes Caesar." When Pilate heard this, he brought Jesus out and sat down on the judge's seat at a place known as the Stone Pavement, which in Aramaic is Gabbatha. It was the day of preparation of the Passover. It was about noon. "Here is your king," Pilate said to the Jews. But they shouted, "Take him away! Take him away! Crucify him!" "Shall I crucify your king?" Pilate asked. "We have no king but Caesar," the chief priests answered. Finally, Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified. So the soldiers took charge of Jesus. Carrying his own cross, he went out to the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on each side, and Jesus in the middle. Pilate had a notice prepared and fastened to the cross. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." Many of the Jews read this sign, for the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and the sign was written in Aramaic, Latin, and Greek. The chief priests of the Jews protested to Pilate, "Do not write the King of the Jews, but that this man claimed to be the King of the Jews." Pilate answered, "What I have written, I have written." When the soldiers crucified Jesus, they took his clothes, dividing them into 4 shares, one for each of them, with the undergarment remaining. This garment was seamless, woven in one piece from top to bottom. "Let's not tear it," they said to one another. "Let's decide by lot who will get it." This happened that the scripture might be fulfilled that said, "They divided my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment." So this is what the soldiers did. Near the cross of Jesus stood his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother there and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to her, "Woman, here is your son." And to the disciple, "Here is your mother." From that time on, this disciple took her into his home. Later, knowing that everything had now been finished, and so that scripture would be fulfilled, Jesus said, I am thirsty." A jar of wine vinegar was there, so they soaked a sponge in it and put the sponge on a stalk of the hyssop plant and lifted it to Jesus' lips. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Now it was the day of preparation, and the next day was to be a special Sabbath. Because the Jewish leaders did not want the bodies left on the crosses during the Sabbath, they asked Pilate to have the legs broken and the bodies taken down. The soldiers therefore came and broke the legs of the first man who had been crucified with Jesus, and then those of the other. But when they came to Jesus and found that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. Instead, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing a sudden flow of blood and water. The man who saw it has given testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows that he tells the truth, and he testifies so that you also may believe. These things happened so that the scriptures would be fulfilled. Not one of his bones will be broken. And as another scripture says, they will look on the one they have pierced. Later, Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. Now Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly because he feared the Jewish leaders. With Pilate's permission, he came and took the body away. He was accompanied by Nicodemus, the man who earlier had visited Jesus at night. Nicodemus brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 75 pounds. Taking Jesus' body, the two of them wrapped it with the spices in strips of linen. This was in accordance with Jewish burial customs. At the place where Jesus was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had ever been laid. Because it was the Jewish day of preparation, and since the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there.
Thanks, everybody. What do you say? I I think this. I personally think it's a good stopping point, but we can go on if you want.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Any comment that anybody has about this sad part?
Very sad.
Yeah.
I was just reading today this odd thing I came across, on Google feed, a reference to an account of the Inquisition in the New World, which I hadn't realized the Inquisition had made it to
To the
the
new
New World
world.
in
Yeah.
the going back as far as the 15th century. But it was an article about one of their saints who
Mhm.
was and was also a martyr because of his enthusiasm, as it was written, for chasing conversos along the Rio Grande and into the Rio Grande Valley in Mexico. Conversos were Jews who converted to Catholicism.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and
Conversus. Okay. In the new world.
conversos.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
he had enthusiasm to the degree that he crossed the Atlantic to pursue them. He was a member of the Inquisition, to pursue them in the New World, in the Rio Grande, which they had moved into Texas and moving north into what we would call New
New
Mexico,
Mexico.
to
Yeah.
get away from
The Inquisition.
Spain and the Spaniards and the Inquisition,
Man.
and they went to the trouble to follow them, and yeah, so he was sainted for that.
An ugly period of the church.
And not a great period
Still is
of
an
the
ugly period.
church. Yeah.
I mean, look what's happening now. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was serendipitous in a very weird way, considering what I knew we were reading tonight.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
really.
It's-
It's interesting. This account is so different than the others. Well, not that different, but the thieves don't speak to Jesus in this.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. No, he's very isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my sense of, he's just
And Pilate's wife
completely alone.
isn't quoted.
Yeah.
In one of the.
Yeah, there's nothing about Mary being at the foot and nothing.
No, it is there.
Was that there?
Says, "Woman, here is your son."
Oh, yeah, well,
And that's not in every one of the gospels. It's just interesting
Yeah.
how the stories are different.
yeah, that's true. That's not in every gospel.
And it says it was the day of preparation for the Passover, and wasn't the Last Supper a Passover meal?
It's something other than I think the Passover meal, I mean, it was something, it was after the Passover. There's something after the Passover. I don't know enough about Jewish tradition to know the answer to that.
Well, I wonder if it was a Passover meal, but that the Friday that everybody was so uptight about was actually the Friday before a Sabbath that was also part of the Passover.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to that.
So if he was crucified on Friday, I mean, he was crucified on Friday, which would have been the beginning. Passover starts at sundown.
At sundown.
Yeah. So that's why that's why it's called the day of preparation, because the Sabbath is the next day.
Yeah.
So Margaret, your question is, what meal was the meal that the Last Supper? I don't think was a Passover meal. It was just supper, I think. I don't know. I have to go back and
I don't know. I'm positive somebody has commented on this. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe when we're okay, so
well, I'm just thinking that they were talking that in the other gospels they talk about it being the day of preparation for the Passover.
I think you're right. Yeah, Margaret.
But that can easily be checked. We all have our Bibles here.
Yeah. Well, the Palm
I can tell you what Google says.
All right, what does Google say?
Google says the Passover meal or the Seder is the symbolic feast eaten on the first 2 nights of Passover. Doesn't say it is. It doesn't. So this is not a special meal.
Okay, so Thursday, what we call Maundy Thursday. Sometimes we have a symbolic Passover meal on Maundy Thursday.
Well, that
Good Friday.
I don't know. I thought Passover was typically on Friday.
Yeah.
But did they have weekends back then?
I think Passover's a rotating feast.
Yeah.
It's like Easter. It doesn't have a fixed day.
Right. That's right.
So I think it could start even in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
So
the Last Supper could have been Passover, and whatever they were preparing for.
Yeah, whatever
Friday was for the regular Sabbath meal.
Yeah.
So,
well, in chapter 13 it says, now before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world. And then he does the foot washing thing. So maybe it's not Passover yet in this particular week.
Yeah.
we need one of our scholars
We need a real scholar to
Steve or
tell us
Linda.
about this.
Jim.
Yeah. We could write her. Do you think Linda would have looked at this,
It's possible.
or Father Jim,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Steve, for that matter, too.
or Steve? Yeah.
He's closer by.
Yeah.
We could talk to him on Sunday about it,
Yeah.
or tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Lori.
I'm sure I'd love to talk about it at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No. I keep hoping some other. We have a very loyal 6 people who come at 8 o'clock on Thursday morning.
I think we ought to, it occurred to me, and I keep forgetting about it, that we should, when we wave to people on Sundays who are in the TV land, we should tell them that wherever they are, that we meet at 8 o'clock Pacific time, and they're welcome to come and join us.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
Well, I do
Yeah.
sort of say that during announcement time, but I don't know if I have to be more direct, I think.
Yeah, I think you have to say, either wake up or stay awake, wherever you are, come to 8 a.m. morning prayer Pacific time.
Yeah. I was telling Karen Spears asked me if there was a weekday service. She said, do Episcopalians have a weekday service? And I said, well, 8 o'clock on Zoom Thursday morning. So I don't know. I don't know.
That works.
Maybe she'll join us. I don't know. I don't know how good she is about computer stuff. So I don't know. Which reminds me, did you get a hold of Bruce about coming to church?
I did not, because I knew I wasn't going to be there last Sunday.
Oh.
I will contact her about this Sunday, because I will be there. She needs a ride home too, so it's always.
I could probably do that.
Oh.
And there are other people who can. So
see, I don't know anybody else who lives over here except.
Well, I mean, I sort of know the area. It's not that. I mean, I'm out that way.
I usually just go home, so that's not a problem. But
well, she usually does too. She rarely stay for coffee hour, so she'll probably be fine with that.
Well, I'd like to stay for coffee hour, but if she doesn't, then all I'm saying is that
I think she will do whatever.
I see. So I am going to contact her about this Sunday.
Okay.
She'd like to come with me this Sunday.
Okay, good.
Which I don't. It's not a Eucharist this Sunday,
no,
right?
It's not.
No.
We have three morning prayers in a row.
So she may like to come when there's a Eucharist.
So, she likes to hear the kids play. You can tell her Nico's playing.
Okay.
And then
okay.
And
on Saturday, Sunday.
Nico's playing on Sunday, and Jesse's playing the next. It was playing on the 15th is Jeffrey Paul.
Okay.
And so the next Eucharist is the 15th.
Okay. Okay. Well, see, I won't be here for that. I'll be down in Los Angeles.
Well, actually, no, I'm sorry, it's not a Eucharist. The 15th is Jeffrey Paul, but it's morning prayer. And but Jeffrey Paul's going to play, and Jesse's going to play on the 22nd. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
See if she can come. If she can come this Sunday, that'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah, because we won't have another Eucharist till Palm Sunday.
Okay.
I found a note on the day of preparation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And it's about this part that says, since it was the day of preparation, the Jews did not want the bodies left on the cross during the Sabbath, especially because the Sabbath was a day of great solemnity. Huh. So they asked Pilate to have the legs of the crucified men broken and the bodies removed. So here's what the note says. The day of preparation, that is for the Sabbath. In contrast to the other Gospels, in John, this Sabbath was also Passover day. Oh. Lest the crucified men die on that Sabbath, which would begin at sundown, and also because Deuteronomy forbids hanged bodies to remain overnight. The Jews desired to hasten the men's death. Death by crucifixion could take several days, so that breaking the legs was an act of mercy by preventing the men from pushing up to get their breath. It led to swift suffocation. There was no need to break Jesus's legs, since he was already dead. And then they pierced his side, the soldiers, and I guess to make double sure that he was dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what it
On that
says.
note,
So it was a special day. This
Yeah.
Sabbath was how does it say it? This Sabbath was especially a day of great solemnity because it was Passover day. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, thanks, guys. Huh?
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah. Nice to see you all. Okay.
See some of you in the morning.
Yep.
Hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We have a great gospel coming up.
Yeah.
For Sunday.
Right.
The woman at the well.
Right.
That's a good one. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Good.
Good night, all.
Take care,
Good night.
everybody. Night,
Thank
night.
you.
Night, night.